Hi folks, today I will show you my new ballast. This is the old version for my F5J and this one is something like 400 grams, but it's not really fancy. I made a new one with the 3D printer, so this is this version. You have the name here on the side, and that's help if you have different planes so you can know which one fits in which fuselage. This is a variable ballast because you can use different setup with only one tube. And why? Because you have some dummy leads ballast. So I have two now, and now you have the real ballast, which is 50 grams. It is high density, so you can find in any fishing shops. For example, in Decathlon, it also exists in 60 and maybe in 70 grams. Find out your way. Of course, I have chosen the smallest one because the fuselage in F5J are very narrow, and there is a receiver, and there is a lot of wiring, especially with this one, because there are 8 servos, and the wiring is a real problem. So let's continue. I have 3 leads inside for approximately 150 grams, and the last dummy, which means that I can change a little bit center of gravity of my plane by removing one dummy or changing the length of my dummy. I think that's very flexible. Now about the design, you have this cover here. The design is like this, especially when you pull out the ballast from the fuselage to avoid missing the wiring. And this is why also I did this here when you are inserting the ballast inside the fuselage to avoid missing the wiring. Unfortunately, my fuselage is quite short. I need to put my ballast from there to here approximately, which is a narrow space. It's 175 millimeters, something like this. The first edition of my ballast was this one, full 3D printed, but I couldn't fit this into the fuselage. No way. Why? Because basically, you absolutely need to insert this inside. You need to stretch out the metal rod if you want to succeed. Yeah, that's it. I can feel that it's okay. Without this rod, flexible rod, I cannot insert into the fuselage this ballast. How I fix this? So I use Velcro, and they are both 3M. They have incredible stiffness in one direction, so you just need to clip from top to bottom, and you have an incredible strength here. So I cannot remove this right now, maybe more than 10 kilos easily. And it's very easy to remove laterally. You just push out, and that's it. So very easy way, no screw. I watched this on Prestige, and that's really a mess. So I like it very much. I will show you the 3D design in Fusion 360, and I will show you also the parameters I have used on my slicer. It's a Bamboo Lab P1S. In Fusion 360 here you have a cube which represent one lead, and the dimension of this one are for the 50 grams to 28.60 millimeters. Here 16.30 millimeters. That's correct for the 50 grams fishing leads. This is the seal. So this is the tube that is closing at the rear, with the seal here. We have also this one, nothing special, it's quite small, but you can still remove it with the finger quite easily. So you have a hole here, because this is a 1.5 millimeters rod, and you have the same hole here. So that's very easy to fix, because you just insert the rod in the two parts, just little cyanoacrylate, and that's done. And of course, you can adjust the length depending on what you need. So I have already drawn a new version with a little window here. So you can know anytime how many wheel ballast and dummies you have to figure out the total weight of your ballast, and if you are modifying slightly or not the gravity center. The total weight definitively with 6 leads. 6 leads is 300 grams, plus the additional 3D printing, it's around 350 grams. So I'm using F5J carbon fiber with the standard 0.3 millimeters. Nothing special, except that I have had a bottom shell thickness here. And if I have multiple parts, I largely prefer to print the sequences by object and not by layer. And the reason is that your head is moving from a part to another one, and each time the layer is starting to get cold, and I messed some parts already. So for the strength, it's really better to print one part and after another one. And also one other reason is that when you are 3D printing multiple parts, if you have a problem while printing object by object, it's likely that you will have 1, 2, 3 parts that will be ready to go, and only one to trash. That's really far better. If we look this one, I am using some infill here. I'm using 21 infill density with Georit inside. And if we come back to this part, here around, I have used an infill of 18%.